Alright, so this video is going to be about black men and black women are lost. The basis of this video is coming from the standpoint, here recently I've been reflecting on a lot of different things. I was looking at a lot of my older videos and I came across one video that I did titled The Growing Dysfunction Between Black Men and Black Women. That video got about 1.9 thousand views, and that is beyond a lot for me because none of my views since being back on social media, none of my videos have gotten anywhere close to that, none whatsoever. So based on the title that I just said of that video, you can understand what I was talking about in there. Now, why that video got that many views? Maybe because the person I was talking about, I didn't mention names, I didn't tag nobody's name in it. But I'm pretty sure if you know of certain people, you can put two and two together and understand who I'm talking about. But the basis of it is that we are still having the same conversations that I was highlighting at that point in time. And that was probably maybe approaching 3 years ago. That's a long time ago for us to still be having the same conversations, and we are still in the exact same place, and things are possibly a lot worse than what they were at that time. And I'm going to go from the basis of this is set up by design from when we are kids. So I'm going to go from the basis of us being kids on both sides so we can see the contradiction and where the things are starting and how much more important it is for us to get an understanding of that. That way we can start trying to change that narrative in some way, shape, or form. Now, as a kid, I can speak directly as a young black boy at one point in time. We are not structured to think about marriage, love, relationships, so on and so forth. Yes, it's a part of it, but that's not what we're programmed to just be fixated on that. We do things that kids are supposed to do. Just be a kid. Sports, go outside and play, rough around, hurt yourself a few times, learn your different lessons of the different things that you go through, experience in life, so on and so forth. Just happy-go-lucky, go outside and have a good time type thing. Now, I will say, the one thing that we are structured a particular type of way to have on our mind at all times will be from a sexual standpoint. You get that, we got that from the older men that we were around for the most part. A lot of them having conversations with us as kids that we shouldn't be talking about. We've seen a lot of things as kids that we shouldn't be seeing from a sexual standpoint. We experience a lot of things that we shouldn't be experiencing from a sexual standpoint. We're listening to a lot of music that we shouldn't have been listening to that's pushing all this sexual stuff. And then here it is, you as a young boy, that's all you think about, and that's for the most part, that's all you see of women. And then when you become an adult, and now here it is, you still operate that same way you've been programmed that way for a long time. Now it's probably going to be hard to cut that off or whatever the case may be. So that's the problem on men's side. Then on women's side, to contradict how we're being raised, women or girls are structured to just be head over heels for marriage and love and relationships, because that's all they see on cartoons. That's all they talk about when they in their girl groups as they coming up throughout life. Barbie dolls, Ken and Barbie, or whatever the case may be. Everything that's pushed to girls is pushed as this is your existence, this is what you are supposed to do, so on and so forth. And so from that standpoint, we can already see that's a problem from jump. And now if you think about us being adults, what are we arguing about? On the women's side, men are not emotionally available, immature, they dogs, they do this, they do that, so on and so forth. On the men's side, we're talking about there's no good women, women doing this, doing that, so on and so forth. Whatever the case may be, and I'll get to those two things here in a second. That was coming from back in the day. Now, where we are now in today's society, how advanced things have gotten, men, we are still programmed the same way as kids. A certain aspect of it has gotten worse for us. But on the women's side, I would say this is where the biggest change has happened, and this is where I input the influence of music on women's side. Now, and I'm just using this as an example. It's other stuff, but I'm going to go the music route. So, in my opinion, girls are not structured. Don't get me wrong, there are probably still girls that marvel over marriage and still watch those little cartoons and being conditioned to believe that, you know, this is what life is all about. That's all you talk about is boys. That's all you dream about. That's all you ever think about is boys. I would say it's slightly different though now because of the music that they listen to and also the mind frame that girls and women have now gotten based on their experiences with men. So now it's a lot more grimy women. Now it's a lot more women that have peaked game and realize, okay, well, if they don't care about X, Y, and Z, I'm going to start operating this way, which again is a part of those solutions that are not foolproof, that are one-sided. Yes, they have every right to try to change whatever situation they may have been having with the other side, but a lot of the ideas and things that they come up with is beyond problematic, and in my terms is dumb as hell. But I look at it as girls, from what I'm used to coming up, girls are structured to be gullible as hell and dumb as hell because of how they think. So here it is, now they're starting to change that narrative to where they don't care about marriage no more. They don't care about it. Now, innately and who they are, it's still there. But as far as what's coming out a lot more is that they don't care about it. They're essentially starting to act like men. I won't call it masculine because I disagree with saying that things are masculine and feminine, so on and so forth. But I'll say girls and women are starting to act like the men or in response to men. So from that standpoint, that's what you got on women's side coming up. Then how that pertains to us as men, when we're complaining on our side, talking about there is no good women. I've had experiences with way more good women than I have with quote unquote bad women. And the reason why I say that is because my experiences with those good women, those women have turned bad based on their experiences with the men or the selection of men that they have. Even if they choosing wrong, so on and so forth, I get it. But if we come from the standpoint of men saying that there's no good women, coming from that point in time, I would say, men, we got to think about it like this. We complain that there's no good women and we call women 304s and so on and so forth. But if you think about our outlook on women and what our dealings with women is most of the time, we'll complain about not having a selection of good women, but we still running through women like it's football or something like that. I don't see how we don't understand how if we continue to do that, women are going to have to try to figure out a way to combat that or figure out how to play that game with us and so on and so forth. So we are adding to the problem of there being no good women by the way that we treat them and operate, so on and so forth. And then women, they're saying there's no good men, but yet and still they continue to entertain the same bullshit ass dudes that they've been entertaining. And it frustrates me so much because throughout my life I've always had people coming to me for advice and so on and so forth. And I'm very appreciative that they would value my opinion on certain things. But throughout my life, my relatives that are women or friends that are women, they'll come up to me and they'll tell me about or ask me certain things or whatever the case may be. And my push has always been say, look, I don't really think it's good for you to really entertain relationships because of the state of mind that we're in as men. I've had friends of mine that are women trying to ask me to put them down with some of my homeboys. And I'm like, hey, nah, that ain't what you want to do, because I already know what my boys are on. Even though I wasn't on that, I always operated differently coming up. But even though I wasn't on what they were on, I knew what it was, and I didn't want to bring this person that I know into that. So I'm saying that in the sense of when I would have these conversations with my relatives that are women or friends that are women, when I would have these conversations with them, flat out telling them, leave dating alone. Focus on you. Neither side is in a position to be worried about dating. But I can talk to men about this, but men are not going to listen as long as y'all keep opening up your legs, because that's how low we are from a mental standpoint with where we are. Now, I get it's natural instinct, so on and so forth. I get it, but at the same time, we can have self-control and we don't have to say yes to every single woman that offers it to us. But I'm having this conversation with women saying that as long as y'all keep doing X, Y, and Z, y'all are not going to run into the type of men that y'all want to run into. So therefore, you need to stay single, focus on you, do what you got to do, and at some point in time, the man that you're interested in or a man that's interested in you, he'll see how you're moving and he'll understand that you got certain standards about yourself. You move a particular type of way, and if he's willing to get that effort to go forth and try to, you know, persuade you that he deserves your time or whatever the case may be, then y'all go ahead and y'all do what y'all got to do. But for the most part, as far as dating goes, y'all need to leave it alone. So this is a conversation that I always had with, I still to this day have this conversation with women, even more so to this day, have that conversation with women. But what happens? 2 months, 3 months down the road, they hit me back up telling me X, Y, and Z, not anything specific, but just more so making statements like, the dating market trash, why y'all men ain't shit, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, well, I told you that. Why? I mean, you your own person, you can do what you want to do, but you have a man sitting here telling you to don't entertain it. I'm saying this to say, women are gullible as hell. Can tell them all of what you want to tell them. They can see it for themselves, but they still play into the dumb shit that's going on. So from that standpoint, that's the issue I'm having with men, is that we don't take accountability and we don't see the part that we're playing in it. But women on the other side, they continue to feed the very thing that they're complaining about and continue to complain that there's no good men, while not understanding that why you entertaining them then. Why do you continue to entertain them time after time? Here it is, 2 months down the road, you done found another dude, maybe things are going good, and then stuff start hitting the fan, and then they hit me back up like, yep, see, that one didn't work out. And I'm like, yeah, I told you it wasn't going to work out. But women are hard-headed. Hard head makes out fast, so you got to learn in some form, some way. And so just saying that to say there's problems on both sides. Both sides are not using their brain. Men, we haven't been using our brain, but that's because we don't have to, because it works out in our favor, because we continue to get what we desire from women, and women are getting the short end of the stick because they keep providing what we want while getting the short end of the stick and not getting what they desire out of the situation. So we just talk in circles, we just say things and don't really think about how our actions is playing into the problem. And that's why I say we're beyond lost. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video. I know it's a lot longer than what I wanted it to be. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I know I didn't touch on every single thing. If you have something else to add, definitely add it in the comment section. I appreciate y'all for watching.